Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds. It's Thursday, and we are getting very, very close to the end of the regular season for baseball. And in true fashion, it is coming down to the wire for certain teams.
It is indeed. Both the Royals, Detroit Tigers, and Minnesota Twins all won last night. So the tie for the two wild card positions in the American League remains intact, except for one key category, one less game. There are only 4 games remaining, and all of them play today. So after today, there'll be 3 games remaining. It could be the Minnesota Twins. They're 2 games out with 4 to go. That's a gargantuan task. That's probably not going to happen. But the other 2 are in. I think the Tigers and the Kansas City Royals will be in there. I think they'll end in a tie, or if they don't, the tiebreaker belongs to Kansas City. They won more head-to-head games than the Detroit Tigers. The interesting thing about it is the National League races for the wild card aren't decided either. And the National League, in their wisdom, has taken a look at the forecast, and in the hurricane is going to impact the Atlanta area. As a matter of fact, it already is. Postponed last night's game, postponed today's game. And this is the Braves and the Mets, and they are both in the running for wild card positions. So what's the National League done? Season ain't going to end on Sunday. It's going to end on Monday with a doubleheader if necessary.
Wow.
Now, if it's not necessary, then the commissioner of baseball might, and that's not, this guy's a wacko. He might say, we don't need to play him again, so cancel it. Or say, you people are making money.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen, but it's still very dicey.
Yeah, that's a crazy situation, especially if they have to play a doubleheader to close out the season. Wow. This weekend's crazy. There's all kinds of stuff going on, including a NASCAR playoff race in Kansas City.
It is indeed. This is at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas, which is about 10 miles on the other side of the...
Yeah, it's the Legends area. It's not too bad. You're literally on the other side of the border, and you can actually place bets over there.
Well, you can do that. Well, they go into the race now. There's a whole schedule of races that go on, started Friday and Saturday, and that's the Infinity Series and so forth and so on. But the NASCAR race, in which the focal point has been focused, will be on Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's when the green flag will fall, and when they do, now this is all based on points. All the drivers are there, all of them. But there are only 12 who are eligible to win the points championship, which will be established in November. The points leader at the moment is the defending champion, Kyle Larson. He has a 15-point lead over Christopher Bell, who's in second place. Tyler Reddick is third. 12 drivers are in that championship hunt, and it will be Sunday, and it looks as though it's going to be a very nice day up in Kansas City. The Chiefs, of course, this is all scheduled around the Chiefs. They're on the road, so NASCAR, but Chiefs are not.
Gotta take that weekend.
So that's when it'll be at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Well, like I said, our sister station, Q102's got a golf tournament, Island Green, for Lex and Terry on Saturday. And then, of course, Missouri State Bears are at home on Saturday as if you needed something else to do.
there's no reason to be at home.
I know, man. No, there's no way you or I are going to be home this weekend.
And
so,
I'm
you going to the game Saturday?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a weather person, but I'm thinking the weather will be out of here by Saturday afternoon.
They're saying, I think, closer to like Saturday morning now. There is a chance for isolated thunderstorms, but it really is looking like just kind of an overcast fall day. So
that's fine.
Fingers crossed. We're probably going to get most of it tomorrow is what it's looking like.
Well, the Bears kick it off at 2 o'clock, and this will be the rest of the season will be day games for the Missouri State Ball Club playing Youngstown State. This is, the conference opener for both teams, and a very big deal because, as everyone knows, this is the Bears' last year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Taking on Youngstown State. Youngstown was beaten 73-17, I think the final score was last week, but it was Pittsburgh they played, the University of Pittsburgh, Atlantic Coast Conference team. So while you expect to lose, maybe that thrashing was a little bit more than they expected. Anyway, it'll be 2 o'clock on Saturday, Bears and Youngstown State.
Thursday, we know what's going on in the American League with the Royals and all the other teams that they're tied with currently because they all won, but let's talk about the National League. What's the Cardinals' deal?
Yeah, the Royals game with the Washington Nationals was 3-0 Kansas City, and the Royals are beating up on a team that they should be beating up on. We'll play them again today, weather permitting. Okay, the Cardinals and the Rockies. Cardinals played out in Colorado, and it's just too bad the Cardinals are out of the running because this is a team they should be hammering, and they are. Beat them 5-2 last night. That's Cardinals getting a win, winning at the end of the season. Eric Fetty had 10 strikeouts in getting the win last night. Cardinals had 4 players with 2 hits apiece. The 13-hit attack, Cardinals win. They also play this afternoon out in Denver, and I don't think the Hurricanes going out that far, so that game should be all right. Now, the one thing that we do want to mention is the Texas League Championship.
Yeah, who's the
Arkansas.
King? Really?
The Arkansas Travelers.
Man. Okay.
Travelers had the lead for much of the game last night in Little Rock. They're, battling the conditions, and they got ahead of them. Anyway, it's 4-1, and all of a sudden, here come the Midland Rockhounds in the 8th inning to score 3 runs and tie it up. They go to the 9th, tie 4-4, and Arkansas pushes across a run in the last of the 9th inning, wins it 5-4, and with it, the Arkansas Travelers are the 2024 Texas League Championship. But the team that wins the most postseason awards is the Springfield Cardinals.
Yeah, great organization this year. They did a great job, and they should definitely feel appreciated, especially from this community. They gave them a great season to watch. So last week, it was announced one of the star safeties for the LA Chargers would be suspended, and, dirty player. Either way, he hasn't appealed it yet, has he, as far as you know?
As far as I know, he has not.
Okay,
so
I think
he's
at this point, I mean, right, if he hasn't done it yet, I mean, how can?
No, he won't.
It's not going to be a deal. But
I think his thought process probably is, let's get it over with.
Yeah, especially, I mean, there's some of those hits. Golly, dude, you can't do it. It's not the WWE. But there's also word that Herbert might not be out there.
Herbert might not be, and yet he might be. I get it right. Harbaugh went before the press yesterday and said, hey, there's no situation. We don't know. He has a damaged ankle. Everything looks like it's getting better, but will it be improved enough for him to play? Herbert himself says, I plan on being out there at QB, but it's still a very iffy situation. The Chiefs remain the favorite no matter what. But the LA Chargers are pretty good. They have a pretty fair team. They lost last week when Herbert was suddenly knocked out of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are a little surprising this year. Anyway, everything is set. That game is heard here on The Cave, and that will be Sunday afternoon. Pre-game shows begin at 1 o'clock. Game time is a little after 3. Should be a lot of fun.
It's always a lot of fun, and if you ever miss an episode of Ned Talk, you can always download it as a podcast for free on our 104.7 The Cave app. Ned, you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.